Last weekend, there was the Oscars, and where they give out the awards to all the great works of fiction that Hollywood has to produce. And one of the biggest winners was the White Helmets in Syria. They should have won for Best Makeup and Acting, but instead they got Best Documentary Short Feature. The documentary praising them got an Oscar, despite the fact that the mainstream media is ignoring the fact that they have ties to terrorist organizations and are very likely a terrorist organization themselves. The White Helmets is a 40-minute documentary which marks the first Oscar win for Orlando von Eisendel. The film itself is not a real documentary. The director didn't actually film any of the footage, and he never actually set foot in Syria. It was all recorded by the White Helmets themselves, the organization who has a very long history of faking the footage used to justify moral outrage against Bashar al-Assad when they are the ones actually invading and destroying the country. Now, according to the group's leader, Raid Shah Saleh, said unarmed and neutral rescue workers have saved more than 78,529 people from the attacks in Syria, which is a number that's frankly absolutely ridiculous. That's really not a believable number in any way, shape, or form. It's laughable. Now, Ava Bartlett, a Canadian journalist and human rights activist, traveled to Syria several times since the start of the conflict, but said that the group was claiming to be rescuing civilians in eastern Aleppo. But when she got to eastern Aleppo and asked people about it, they said they've never heard of them. And that's actually a very, very suspicious. And they claim to be like a grassroots kind of thing. Oh, we just rescue people. We're completely impartial, despite the fact they operate completely in the rebel-held territories, the ones held by ISIS and the Al Nasser Front. They're in fact a multi-million-dollar funded, conservatively speaking, $100 million from the U.S., $23 million via USAID. The UK around $65 million, and France is supplying all of their equipment. So in other words, they're funded and controlled by the imperialist powers, yet they claim to be completely impartial and helping people on both sides, even though they operate exclusively in ISIS and al-Nusra areas and have been exposed repeatedly for having faked rescue footage using crisis actors. Of course, I can't actually show you any of that footage because then this video will get taken down. All you have to do is carry out a simple Google search and you'll be able to find, enough of it. Now, like I said, they are entirely in terrorist-controlled areas. But as we can see, despite all the big rhetoric out of the Oscars, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, and rightful criticisms, he is a very awful human being and is well deserving of the criticism that he receives, Oscar was more than happy to just applaud the imperialist efforts of the United States and the phony white helmet rescuers. And once again, we see that despite the liberal outrage against racism, homophobia, sexism, etc., the liberals are just completely dead silent when it comes to the crimes that they carry out globally. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.